Stephanie. So today we are going to go over a fun pumpkin spice, keto, low carb, low sugar recipe that I came up with, and I wanted to share with you because it is October and pumpkin spice is everywhere. So anyways, we're gonna start with the base of the coffee to make it really that great pumpkin flavor, but without adding a lot of ingredients. So the first thing is I went and bought the K-Cups, or I'm sure they have it in the regular just ground coffee, the Starbucks pumpkin spice coffee. No calories, no carbs, nothing. It's just coffee, and they flavored it with spices, which is amazing. So I would start with this because it's gonna really allow you to have the least amount of additional ingredients to give it that fun pumpkin spice taste. So I went ahead and brewed 12 ounces of coffee in here of this. I have it in this container because yes, we are going to throw it into the magic bullet here in a little bit and blend it all up. So we start here. The next thing we're gonna add is gonna be some MCT oil. So if you've seen my videos before, you know I put MCT oil in my coffee to make it bulletproof. It's got 14 grams of fat for every tablespoon. It's got a lot of benefits. I personally like the Bulletproof brand. It's gonna get everything from highly refined coconut oil. So it's got like C8, which is an important type of MCT. It's going to be great for energy. It absorbs quickly into your body, and so your body uses it very quickly once you ingest it, and it goes back up to your brain, so all positive. So it's going to keep you fuller longer. You're not going to feel the need to eat as soon after you drink your coffee. So like I'll have my coffee 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and I don't eat again until usually 1 or 2 in the afternoon, if then. So I usually put this in. I have it here in my little olive oil jar, and so that's how I usually store it. So I just count to 6 when I throw it in here. It's about 2 tablespoons when I actually measure it. So I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, we're done. The next thing I put in my coffee is gonna be my ghee. So this just happens to be the brand that I'm using right now. It's by Carrington Farms. I got this at Costco. I really like this brand, Calapo. I can usually get this on Amazon or at my Kroger up the street. And then I actually just bought this from Costco, 10 Star Foods grass-fed ghee. It's made with Irish butter. So the thing with ghee is it's really awesome if you're lactose intolerant, because when they clarify this, it strips away all of the milk solids so that you don't have all that in your system if you're lactose intolerant. It's also really good for connective tissue. It's going to lubricate that. So if your joints, connective tissue, that kind of thing. It also has A, D, E, and K vitamins, which are typically they're fat soluble, which means when you take them in, it has to be absorbed through fat. So it's got that included in it. It's good for your digestive tract. So there's a lot of science behind it. I'm not a scientist. I'm just trying to give you some benefits, but it's going to help with your digestion. It's also going to help with inflammation in your gut. So the one thing I will tell you with both of these, go slow starting out. You don't want to go ahead and put 6, count to 6 and throw a tablespoon in your coffee. If you've never had it before, you will hate me. So start slow, otherwise you will be on the toilet, to put it nicely. And then build up. It's just something your body needs to get used to. Trying to see if there's anything else I missed. I made some notes. I want to share everything. The other thing with the MCT oil, it's going to be good for your skin. Both of them are good for your skin. So I put that in. I do not put collagen in, which has been really popular to put in your coffee in the morning. I put that in later in the afternoon or evening if I'm going to have collagen, because collagen has protein in it, and I typically like to have this in the morning and do what I would call an intermittent fast. There's a lot of controversy or opinions out there on what intermittent fasting really means. If you have calories, does that mean it's intermittent fasting, that your fast has been broken? Or if you have some calories but it doesn't have protein, then does that mean you haven't broken your fast? At this point, it's really going to be whatever works for you. I prefer not to have collagen in my coffee in the morning. It has protein in it. I usually stick to protein after about 2 o'clock unless I'm eating a full breakfast, like if Leroy and I go out and I have like eggs and bacon. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of ghee. It looks kind of like applesauce. I'm going to throw that in there and I'm going to let it sit. The ghee's also going to give it a nice rich flavor. All right, so next up, I'm a creamer girl, but I have been able to switch over to heavy whipping cream. I don't think this was the case in my last video. So this has been some progress for me because I felt like I was hitting a plateau in keto and not hitting my goals that I was trying to accomplish. So usually on keto, you try to stay under about 20 to 30 carbs per day, which can be difficult if you're drinking something that has 10 to 15 carbs minimum and a drink, right? And so, because you have the rest of the day, and that's not even counting any food. So I switched over to the heavy whipping cream. It was a little bit of a transition because the heavy whipping cream doesn't have any flavor. I'm a hazelnut girl. I love my hazelnut, and the sugar-free wasn't cutting it for me. So I do my heavy whipping cream. Normal coffee, I'm gonna do some of the hazelnut stevia, like so, or a hazelnut like sugar-free syrup. But for today, we're gonna do something different. So I'm gonna pour some of the creamer in. I go between an eighth and a little less than a fourth of a cup. So this is a fourth of a cup. I'm not filling it up quite so full. So throw that in there. You can also use coconut milk, or if you're lactose intolerant and you can't do the dairy, do something different. That just whatever is up to you. So that's always the base of my coffee. And then I do 2 stevias. So let's do that. So this is just little packets. The monk fruit with stevia. And then here's where you can get a little creative. So what I do is I'm gonna throw a little bit of cinnamon. I'm gonna throw a little bit of pumpkin spice, not as much, just because I don't care for nutmeg. For some reason I'm kind of sensitive to it. So I like putting a little bit of pumpkin spice flavor in, which has nutmeg in it, but then I also put a little bit more cinnamon in so I can get that spice. And then you have a couple options. So we've got the vanilla stevia drops, which is gonna add a little bit of a flavor to it. The pumpkin spice coffee is already in here. So it's already gonna have a pumpkin spice flavor that you don't have any calories or any carbs or anything. The other thing I got, this is what I was waiting on, this is what I was waiting on from Amazon, is you can do the sugar-free pumpkin pie syrup. If you like the flavor of that, you can do a couple pumps of that. And then I also have the sugar-free vanilla. You could do a couple of pumps of that to make it a little bit sweeter. Totally up to you. So what I'm gonna do for today is I wanna try 2 pumps. And I'm gonna do 1 full pump of the vanilla. I'm not gonna use any of my stevia, and then I'm gonna call it a day there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and blend it up. One, just hint, if you like the syrups, but you don't want them on your countertop, or with the lid on, they're too tall, or even with this pump on, they're too tall for your cabinets. What I did was I went online, and they had these mason jar lids that had like this little spout. So you can see that. So I just got a couple of those, and I already had some mason jars, and I just throw the syrup, fill it up, throw it like this into my cabinet so it fits. And it has little lids, so you don't have to worry about like bugs getting in since it is kind of, syrupy. So that works out really nicely just for like a day-to-day kind of thing. And then I got some peppermint syrup, which I'm excited to do for like, I want to make some low sugar like hot chocolate, and then do sugar-free peppermint syrup. So that'll be like a good hot chocolate recipe for around the holidays. So we're gonna go ahead and put the blender piece on this, and then we're gonna grab our magic bullet or any other kind of blender. You can use a milk frother. I have a milk frother right here. You can totally use that. The blender is just gonna blend it up a lot better. Okay, so I let it go for about 20 seconds or so, and then I'll let it settle down a little bit, and I'll show you before I pour it into a cup what it does. It just froths the heck out of it, which is wonderful. So see that? You see? There's like this ½ inch layer of just wonderful foam. So you don't quite get that with a milk frother, but it's great. I traveled with it. We went to Barbados, and I threw my milk frother and a mini French press and a mini like kettle, this little kettle thing that boiled water. It was great. It was like, okay, so I have a little bit left, which is fine. So I'm gonna throw that in my cup. So this by itself is great. You could throw like some cinnamon on top, pumpkin spice, you're good to go. The other thing you could do if you really wanna make some, a fun, if maybe you're carving pumpkins and you wanna have it just really festive, but you're still trying to be good. You can throw some whipped cream on top, and then this has like 1 carb. I hear you, Jake. 1 carb, and then you could do some cinnamon or something like that on top. But anyways, this is just great because it's a little bit, fun for the season. I love going to Starbucks and getting pumpkin spice lattes. Nothing against what they offer. It's just, if I want something more, maybe once or twice a week, I can't afford to have that many carbs. in when I'm trying to accomplish certain goals and certain milestones for myself. So I wanted to come up with something that was still fun and festive, so you can still enjoy yourself, but they're aligned with what your goals are. So even if you're not keto, that's totally fine. If you just want something low sugar, low carb, something that's not going to spike your blood sugar, and or just another alternative of some options if you're trying to do bulletproof coffee. The benefit to bulletproof coffee is really going to be it just keeps you fuller longer. And just if you're going to have breakfast or something, or you're going to eat sooner than a couple hours, just back off on some of the portions of the MCT oil or the ghee. But from a brain health standpoint and just from a body, like inflammation, skin, vitamins, I still always will do MCT oil and ghee, even if I know I'm going to be eating, because I just want the benefits of that. So anyways, I hope that was a fun new recipe for the season. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments or you have any suggestions, let me know. I'm always up for a good keto recipe. And we'll talk soon. So thanks for watching. Bye.